Yeah, good afternoon. So we will see regarding the history of Python. So uh, before going into the history of Python, so let us see. We have already known regarding the different types of languages. That is high level language, high level, right? So next is assembly level language. Next is a machine level language. So starting from the machine to the high level, so these are the different types of languages we have. So machine level language is represented in terms of zeros or one, and assembly level language where it is used some mnemonic codes. So codes, and here in the high level we will be using English type language. So coming to the Python, which is also a programming language, which is mainly comes under high level language, where the instructions will be written in English language that is understandable by a normal user. That means the language will be written, the instructions within Python will be written in an English type language. Coming to the history of Python, before going in detail about the Python, let us see history. So from where it has been derived. So who has been introduced the Python language and in which year it has been introduced. So it has been developed by the person called as Guido van Rossum. So he is a person who has introduced the Python programming language. So in the National Research Institute, he has been introduced the Python in the year 1989. This National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science is being located in Netherlands. This particular language name has been inspired, or it has been taken from a comedy series called as Monty Python's Flying Circus. This is a comedy series and it is being played in BBC channel. So as our developer or the person Guido van Rossum was interested in this particular comedy series, his plan of naming the programming language as Python is being derived. Right? So Python, after it has been developed, because of its simplicity, because of its readability, right? So and because of its some other features, became popular programming language. So in both industry as well as in academia. So because of its simplicity, because of its readiness, that means easy to be read, and concise, that means smaller in size. So and extensive support of libraries, this has become very popular. And it is a general purpose, that means it can be used in different ways. So either it can be used in the industry, or it can be used in academic purpose, it can be used for gaming purpose. So it can be used in real time everywhere. So it is a general purpose and interpreted. So there are the programming languages are being divided based upon compilation and interpretation. So compilation type of languages are like C, C++, Java, where if you write a program, first we have to compile them and then you have to run the program. Whereas the interpreter language, it does not need any compilation. Directly the program can be run and we can get the output. So the Python comes under the interpreted programming language, which is an object oriented. That means, so it's an optional object oriented. We cannot say it as a purely object oriented or mandatory object oriented. We can say it as an optional. So based upon your programming, based upon your convenient. So if you have a program very small in size, then in that case you can directly write a program. If your program is very large, or if you are writing it for storing any more details, in that case we can go for object oriented concept, where we have to use the concept of a class and objects, right? So Python is like in middle. So either you can go for the object oriented, or you can, there is a possibility of no need using the object oriented concepts, and you can write program directly without using any class or object concept, right? So this is history of Python. And coming to why Python, so there are many different programming languages, right? Like C, Java, C++, C Sharp, .NET. These are the different types of programming languages. Of all these programming languages, why we are moving for the Python? So there should be some advantages of using this programming language, or there might be some features that are attracting more, right? So there are well-known advantages why for using that means well-known advantages in using this programming language. That's why most of the people, or most of the students who are starting their programming career, will prefer the Python, right? So coming to some of the advantages of a Python, one is a readability, next one is a portability. What is meant by readability? Say, if at all I have written a logic, or if at all I have written a program for a logic of addition of two numbers in C. So for addition of two numbers in C, we have to use addition of two numbers, right? In C, we have to use this hash include stdio.h mandatorily, right? And then we have to go for void main, right? So and then we have to go with what declaration part, and then we have to go for initialization part, right? So and then we have to go for the statements like a printf statements, right? And then if there is any possibility of return, we can use a return statement or no need, right? So this is a structure of a simple program in C. If someone want to understand this program, they have to understand what this stdio.h is, what is this void main. So in the void main also, what is the use of this void and what is the use of main. So why we are using these parentheses, why we are using these braces, what is meant by declaration, what is meant by initialization, what is the use of printf statement, and what is the use of return statement. All they have to know whenever they want to write a simple program called addition of two numbers, right? So when we write the same logic for the or in the Python program, no need of using all this, no need. So we can directly take the two variables like a equal to 2, b equal to 3, no need of any semicolons, and directly we can assign, and then we can print a plus b, it will print the output. So or else in the command prompt we can directly mention a plus b, it will print the output as 3. Is there any need of knowing all the main, hash include, braces, parentheses here? No need. We are not at all we don't want any awareness of all these types which we are using in C, right? Simple programs can be easily written, and whatever the programs you want with less number of the statements you can write in Python, and it helps for other persons to understand, to read it easily. So if someone see this program, they need to first know all this, right? So what is the hash include meant, what is the use of stdio.h, why you are using this brackets, angular brackets, what is the use of void, what is the use of main, these braces, what is the use of declaration, initialization. So what is meant by declaration, all they have to know. So when we go with this Python program, no need of understanding anything. So if you know the mathematical logic and if you know some simple statements in Python, then you can directly write a simple addition of two numbers with your hands. No need of prior preparation here. Directly you can understand what is the logic and how you have to write it. That's it. So it becomes easy for others to read your program and understand it. If someone sees this, they cannot understand at that particular moment. If someone sees, they can easily understand what is the purpose of this program, right? So that we call it as a readability. It helps a programmer to reuse existing code, and they can easily understand what the other people have written the program for, or they can even understand the logic by looking at the program. So at particular moment, right? So no need of preparation needed. No prior preparation is needed for understanding a program, right? Coming to the portability. So portability is nothing but the platform independent. That means, so if I write a program in Windows, the same program can be executed in Ubuntu, can be executed in Linux, can be executed in iOS. No minor changes also needed for your program. So it can run on different operating systems without any modifications. That we call it as a portability, and Python mainly have an advantage of portability. It will, whatever the program you have written on the Windows can be executed on the Ubuntu, can be executed on Linux. In any operating system, you can run the same program without any modifications, right? Coming to the vast support of libraries. So what is meant by a library? So if at all you have written a program, if you need some extra, or if you need some extra functionality for your program, say for addition plus, you will be using, for minus, for subtraction you will be using minus, and for multiplication you will be using asterisk, and for division, modulo division or normal division, right? So all these operations you are performing. Whenever you are using these symbols, each and everything will be having some functionality, and that functionality will be provided by a specific, that means each and every programming language will provide for a specific operation or specific functionality for each and every operator you are using, right? So plus can be used for addition, can be for addition, can, and for concatenation can be used plus, and coming to the minus can be used for the negative values, or for subtraction purpose you can use a minus, and asterisk you can use for multiplication, you can use for asterisk, can be used for the power notation, exponential notation, like that. So each and every, so whenever you are using, so based upon that, the functionality of it will be changes, the scenario changes, the functionality changes. So the operating system will, whenever you are using all these operators, the Python programming language, it has to provide some functionality to each and every operator you are using, right? So for plus, for minus, for into, for modulo, for normal division, for each and everything, some functionality will be provided by the programming language. That functionality, where it will be available? It will be available in a standard library. Nothing but we can define them as a built-in functions or built-in files, which will be providing some functionality, some extra functionality to our program, right? So like that, in Python we have n number, so almost there are n number of libraries available having the different functionalities, like NumPy, which is one type of the library available in Python, which is mainly used for performing some operations on arrays and matrices. And we have some scikit-learn. scikit-learn, which is a library which is used to work with the machine learning algorithms. We have some algorithms, some libraries like PyTorch. We have some libraries like math, fmath. We have some libraries like string. So these are the different types of libraries we have. We have just import them and then we have to use them, right? So whenever you import these libraries into your program, you will get the functionalities. When you want to work on a machine learning algorithm, you have to import this library. When you want to work on the arrays, you have to use this library, like that, right? So this Python, one of the feature why we are moving for the Python is vast support of libraries. Based upon the different functionalities, different set of the libraries are being available in Python. And coming to the software integration, that means there is a capability of including some C++ or C code within your Python. The other programming languages code can be integrated with your Python code. The Python code can be integrated easily with the other programming languages also. So that we call it as a software integration. So Python, it can easily extend, communicate and integrate with several other programming languages. You can connect the Python programming language with other programming languages also. You can include the code of the C into Python and Python code into C, Java code into Python and Python code into Java. Like that, you can integrate them. You can combine them. So in order to extend some functionality for your logic. Coming to the developer productivity. So that means Python is dynamically typed language. That means no need of concentration on the data type. So based upon your convenient, whatever the variables you declare and whatever the values you assign to the variables in the Python, the data type will be allocated. That means if I mention like n equal to 10, then it automatically treated like integer data type. If I mention the same as 10.5, it will be considered as a float data type variable, like that. So it's a dynamically typed. So it is one of the productivity for a developer. So no need of understanding what data type is and what is the size of it. So based upon the convenient, based upon your operating system size, that means the processor size. So if it is a 16-bit processor, then the size of all these data types will be 16-bit. So if it is 32-bit processor, it will be 32-bit. The size of int float will be 32-bit. If it is a 64-bit processor, it will be 64-bit, like that. The size can also be extended based upon the processor. There won't be any limit on the size. So it becomes the size of the code can be reduced quite a bit. So compared to the C, C++, Java, where whatever the programs you write in C, C++, Java, the same program you can write in Python. There, if at all you are using some 10 lines of a code, in Python you can write it within 5 to 4 lines of a code only. Right? So as there is no need of using any hash include header files or using of a main, using of a brace or using any declaration part is no need. So some of the lines that are must and should needed in C, C++, Java are not needed in Python. So that's why you can easily reduce the code. So that's why we can call this Python, we can specify it as the developer's productivity. Developers can produce much amount of the products using the Python within less amount of the time compared to the C, C++ and Java, right? And coming to the installation of Python. So when we are moving for the Python installation, we here I am specifying the installation process in two operating systems, Windows and Ubuntu. The two variations, there are similar installation processes, but whenever you are going for the installation of Python in Windows, you have to move to this particular website, http://www.python.org downloads. There you can find this is how it looks, the interface. Here you have to move to this particular downloads option. There you can, whenever you click on the downloads, it will show the set of the versions of the Python that are needed for your Windows. Okay, so based upon your operating system, so this is how it looks. When I click on the downloads, it will show all releases, source code, Windows. For the Windows, so what is the latest version available, it will show. And based upon your latest version, whatever the needed for your operating system. If your operating system is XP, you can go for the XP related. So, and if your version is like Windows 10, Windows 11 or Windows 8, so based upon the operating system you can select. And also you can go either it is a 32-bit or 64-bit processor. Based upon that you have to select the Python version that is needed for you, right? So this is how it looks. So the list will show like this in the website. So you can select, as my system is like a 64-bit, have selected 64 executable installer. This is have selected, and it has been, after selection it gets downloaded, and go to that specific folder downloads and double click on your particular executable file. So after it has been double clicked, then it will show this installation process will starts, and it will show this particular pop-up window where you have to select either install now or customize installation. Install now if you select, then it will include what IDLE, integrated development learning environment, will be included, and some pip libraries will be included, and the documentation of your Python will be included. And there are some shortcuts and file accessories which are needed for your Python will be included. And for customization of all these features, if you want to omit something, then you can go for the customization. Otherwise, install now, select install now, and at the bottom you will be having install launcher for all users and add Python version to path. So this is for path setup. Like in Java, no need of setting the path manually. If you click or if you check on this, automatically the Python path will be set and it will be downloaded for you, right? So coming to next, after the setup, this will be pop-up window. Next pop-up window will be displayed. Here after setup was successful will be displayed. And now if you want to open your Python, just go to the search menu. There type py, automatically it will show the Python IDLE as well as Python command prompt for you. So this is an IDLE and this is a command prompt for your Python, right? So there you can open, and there you can directly type your program and execute your program. So coming to the Ubuntu, these are by default Python will be installed when operating system is been configured on your Ubuntu operating system is been configured on your system. So whenever you want to update it, or whenever you want to install some other version of a Python, then these are the commands that you have to use. The first command is sudo apt-get install Python. So it will install Python 2.7, which is the first version of a Python. Python 2 is a previous version. Now we are using the Python 3, and we are using Python 3.8, 3.7, 3.6. These are the latest, somewhat latest versions of a Python. And the sudo apt-get, if you want to install Python 3, then you have to use Python 3. The third version of the Python will be installed. The main difference between Python 2.7 and Python 3 is some of the features are being deprecated in Python 2, and some extra features are being included, or some extra libraries are included in Python 3. So if you want to install the IDLE, In Windows it will get along with the Python installation, but here if you want to install, then you have to use sudo apt-get install IDLE3. So this will be installed for you. So here you have to either go to the software center of Ubuntu and from there you can download, or you can use this command in the command prompt of Ubuntu and you can download IDLE for you. Right, so this is how the installation process goes on. So I have given sudo apt-get install Python. So Python 2 will be installed for me. So it will be asking, do you want to continue? Like some of the libraries will be upgraded and some additional libraries needed will be included or installed. So it will ask me whether I want to continue or not. So if I mention the Y option here, automatically the installation process goes on and it will get installed for me. Now at the command prompt, I can the Python has been installed. Now for the installation purpose, you can of IDLE, what you have to do is you have to go to the Ubuntu software center and then at the search you can specify Python IDLE, and from the set of the list we have, you can use this IDLE using Python 3.4. So this is the latest version of all the versions that are being displayed. So I have selected the Python IDLE 3.4. This is a version that shows the latest. So that's why I have selected it and install on my system. Now at the time of IDLE also, here this is a way of installation from the software center and this is way from command prompt. You can directly go, you can either go to the software center and select specific software, or you can use the command sudo apt-get install, and here I want the software called as IDLE3, so I have mentioned it as IDLE3. So automatically whatever the packages installed already will be upgraded, and if new packages needed will be installed. And it may ask whether to update the particular already available software, then I can mention it as Y. The installation procedure will be completed. So where can you see the folder of a Python is, so when in the C, in the users folder, and this is my system name. So whatever the system name you have, in the system name folder, app data, at the top you have to give this particular address, app data /local/programs. Go to that particular folder, there you can go Python, you can check the folder called as a Python, and within that Python the version which you have installed. As I have installed Python 3.5, it shows the folder name as Python 35, and here it will show the documentation, so regarding what libraries needed and what are all the libraries already installed, all that will be shown in this particular document folder. Coming to the interaction with the Python, that means how you can interact with the Python, how you can write a program with in Python, what are the different modes of writing the program in Python, what are the different modes of execution of a program in Python. So there are mainly we can mention it as in different ways. So one is in interactively you can write a program and you can execute it. That means in a command prompt you can write a program and you can run it. That is an interactive way. So here line by line execution. Say in this interactive way, this is a command prompt I have, and here in the Python, if you want to know that it is a Python command prompt or normal command prompt, you can in the Python command prompt you can get the 3 greater than symbols, and then here you can type the commands. So after writing say like a equal to 5, if I mention a equal to 5, in the next command next line of the Python command prompt I need to declare the another variable, say b equal to 5, and in the another line I need to mention a plus b. Now it will display the value as 5, like that line by line. So as it is interacting for me, interacting with me in each and every line of a program, we are calling it as an interactive way of program writing. And coming to the script mode, here we will be using like a Java program where you write the program in Notepad and save the program with .java. In the same way, here you will be writing the program in Notepad. This is a Notepad where you write the program and then you will be saving it with .py. So I want to save it as sum.py. Here I can write the program a equal to 5, b equal to 5, print a plus b. Now I will run the program. It will display where I should run the program is in the normal command prompt. This is Python command prompt, and here I am using normal command prompt, where it will be showing like where that means where my program has been written, the path. Say I have saved this program on desktop. So desktop, here I need to mention it as py sum.py. Now the program will be executed and it will display the output as 10 here. It will display 10. It will display 10 here, like that. This is a script mode. So as a script, you will be writing the code and that code will be executed in a normal command prompt. So Python will be installed in this path, right? So command line interaction, straightforward. Just go to the start menu and then clicking on its icon, Python icon, menu item on the start menu, which will open like this. This is how it looks. Here Python 3.5, or you can search here Python py. Automatically it will show all the softwares installed and starts with a py. Then you can select Python 3.5, whatever you have installed. After that it will open the command prompt for you. This is an interactive way, so directly you can write the program. So this is a simple program, hello world program in Python, whereas the same program in C you have to write hash include and then void main. Next we have to write some printf statement and then you have to specify hello world here within the quotation, then close. You need some 5 to 6 lines of a code in C, whereas here only one single line of a code can be written, right? So you can type the code. If you want to exit from this command prompt directly, you can quit. You can type the command quit, or you can write the command exit, or you can just type Ctrl+Z from your keyboard, then you can exit from this command prompt, right? Or else you can go to this particular folder where the command Python has been installed. This is a path. You can go there and you can type this Python. You can just click on it. Automatically the command prompt opens for you like this. So as it is showing 3 greater than symbols, we can say it as a Python command prompt. This is how. If you want to open the Python command prompt from the normal command prompt, just open the normal command prompt. Just go to this start, go to start and then open CMD. First type the CMD. From here you have to type the CMD, and from the CMD it will open a command prompt like this. There you have to type Python. So now normal command prompt will be changed to the Python command prompt. Here you can start typing your program. So whatever the program you want, you can type it here, right? So using the shell programming or ideally, so shell is nothing but ideal, writing your program, executing it using ideally. So normally Eclipse or we can call it as like IDE, integrated development environment. Why we are calling these as an integrated development environment means, so based upon the programming languages, the libraries, the keywords, whatever needed for your programming language, specific programming language, they are already been installed in this IDLE, and they come with inbuilt functionality. So whatever the keywords you are using in your programming language, and whatever the functions, built-in functions you are using in your programming language while writing a program, they will be highlighted compared to that of your normal text. So that's why we are calling them as integrated development environment. That means whatever the syntax, whatever the functionality needed for your programming or for writing your program will be integrated within this particular environment. So for developing purpose, the functionalities, the libraries, the keywords, the syntax will be integrated into this particular environment. So we are calling it as integrated development environment. So in Python, instead of calling it as IDE, we are calling it as what? IDLE, learning environment. So that is the only difference. So the naming only differs, but the functionality is same as that of the IDE, which we use for other programming languages like Java, C# or C++. So like for C# we will be using Visual Studio, and for Java we will be using Eclipse, NetBeans, which are mainly meant for programming purpose, where the syntax of the programming languages are inbuilt within them, right? So which are being integrated within that particular environment. So that is why we are calling them as integrated development environment. The same works here. Instead of naming it as IDE, we are naming it as what? IDLE, right? So this is how you can go same search, and here you can use IDLE. It will open the Python IDLE. So the interface looks like this. So here normal command, this is a shell. It looks like a Python command prompt. So instead of whatever the program you write, so that program will be executed here and the output will be displayed here. So before going it, first we have to move to the file. So here we will be having these types of the menus. The file will be having the new, which is used for displaying the new shell for typing your program. That means a new file for typing your program. And for cut, copy, paste, you will be having edit option, and this is a shell. So if you want to open a new shell again, you can go to the shell. And for debug, that means for executing your program, debugging it for the errors, then you can go for the debug option. And then if you want to run your program, just press F5 on your keyboard. Then from your keyboard, press F5, it will be executed and the output will be displayed in this particular shell. So this is how it looks. The file name I have mentioned. So as I haven't saved this particular file, it has been untitled. Now if I want to that means if I want to save it, then just in the file only we will be having save option, save as, save and save as. Two options will be available. This is for renaming purpose, and this is for saving purpose. So you can just go to the file, save. Then it will be asking the name for your file. Then you, as I mentioned, the name as diff. And as it is a Python IDLE, automatically .py extension will be added. Right? So normal, like in C we have a .c, like in Java we have the .java. Here we have .py as an extension, which mainly says the compiler that it is a Python program, or which will specify someone, if someone want to search some Python programs on our computer, then based upon this extension they can come to know that it is a Python program. So this is an extension for a file that you write the code in Python. So diff.py, which is my program name is diff, and .py mainly shows that it is a Python file. So here you can write the code, whatever the code you want. As I have written the code for printing the subtraction of two numbers or difference of two numbers. Just I have taken two numbers a, b, and I have initialized a equal to 20, b equal to 10. So that means a is a variable of integer and b is a variable of integer, and c, as I have storing the values of a minus b, which is an integer. So the data type of c will be also integer, and there is no limit for the size. So how many data items you want to store, that means the length of the data item, or the length of the type is no length of the element, or then length of the value is not limit here. So based upon your convenient, the length can increase. So that means based upon the processor, the length can be increased. So here I am printing the difference value. C, as I have stored C, a minus b value in C, I am printing C value, right? So this is how we can write the program, and then you can run the program. Here we have the run option. Directly you can go to that, and then you can select this particular menu item. If no need, then you can just press F5 from your keyboard. It will run your program and it will display the output in where shell. So that's why we are calling it as a shell mode of interacting with Python, right? So next is a script mode, where you can go to the normal anywhere in your on your desktop, anywhere on your system, you can go right click, create new, and then you can select the text file and type the program you want on your pad in this particular notepad. After typing the code, you have to save that particular code. So you can go to this file and select the save as, and name it as sum. Here you have to mention the py extension. So notepad, whatever you want, you can type in a notepad. So whenever you are saving it, you will say it will be saved with an extension .txt. So in order to change this extension, you have to mention the name as well as what extension also. So sum.py. So now this will be treated as my Python file. Now you have to go to where normal command prompt, not a Python command prompt. Go to normal command prompt. What I am using the extension here, py, like I have been using for running the program in Java. So what you have to do first, for compilation, Java C program name.java. So this is for what? Compilation, and then compilation, and then for running your program, what you do? Java program.java. So this is for running, right? So here this part is not needed, only will go for this. So instead of Java, we are writing the Python program. So here I will be using py and then the program name. So whatever the name you have given here, what name I have mentioned, sum. So I have been using dot, and then what is this is a Java program, so .java. Here I'm using Python program, so .py. So this is for running your program. So after giving this, it will show that it will display the output for you, right? So these are the three ways of running your program in Windows. In Ubuntu also we can go for the same process. For interacting way, just open the command prompt using what? Alt Control T to open what? Command prompt. To open the command prompt. After that you can type. So type the Python here in the normal command prompt. Press type Python, and the command prompt changes to Python command prompt. Then you can type, you can write your program here and it will be executed. So I have written the program and print a plus b. It will display 110 plus 220. It will display 330 as output. So this is how you can and coming to the ideally, just to search ideally. So as it has been already installed in the installation process, so we can go to select this particular ideally. As I am using ideally 3, or so you can go for ideally 3. then select the shell will be open. Now the same process which we have used in Windows, the same procedure we will be using here. Just go to the file, select the new, and then type the program. Here I have given the name as mul.py. So the a equal to 10, b equal to 20, print a into b is the program. These are the 3 lines for the multiplication of 2 numbers in Python, and the name of the file is mul.py. Now go to save this particular. You can go to the file. There you can have the save as option, where this save as, it will show some directory where normal executable files will be stored. There give the name mul.py. Next save, it will be saved with that particular name. Next what you have to do is go to this particular run and then press F5. It will execute the program and it will display the output on your shell, right? So this and the script mode is normal. In the Ubuntu we will be having the text editor. So just select it, type the program, and then save it as div.py. I have saved it as name. Here you can select all files, excuse me, all files, and then while executing or while running the program, Python div.py, or you can use, instead of Python you can use py div.py anyway. So either you can use py or you can use Python. Next is program name.py. So for running your program, right? So this is about the different modes of execution or different modes of interacting with the Python, right? So one is the interactive way. Next one is a script way. Next one is a shell way. Interactive mode, script mode, shell mode. These are the 3 ways of interacting with Python. Coming to the internal working of Python. So when you have written the program, how an interpreter will execute that particular program internally. So these are the steps that have been involved in the internal execution of your program. First, the Python code, it will be sent to the syntax checker and the translator. So syntax checker will check with the syntax. Will check with the syntax of your code. So here in Python, we don't use braces. But we will be using indentation. Indentation is nothing but spacing, tab spacing. So say if I need some logic regarding the decision making, so if I keep like if a less than b, in normal programming languages I will be using these braces, but here in Python I need to use like this, a less than b colon, and then I need to give some spacing before, and then I need to start from. So the space here mainly is a tab space, 1 tab space or 4 normal space bar spaces, right? So that syntax and these particular syntaxes like colon all will be checked by the syntax checker, and then translator, which will translate your code into binary format, like in terms of a zeros or ones, it will be translated. And then this binary code will be given to the virtual Python machine where it will run your program. That means after translated, that Python virtual machine will mainly specify the space needed, specify the space needed for your program, and if no space is needed, that means if there are any variables that are not in use, the memory space for them will be removed. So the garbage collection, all that things will be done by this Python virtual machine, and then it will give the output. Program output will be displayed by the Python virtual machine, like the JVM, Java virtual machine. Here we will be having Python virtual machine, right? This is the internal working of Python, and this is a step-by-step process. The interpreter reads the Python code, and then it verifies the instruction is well formatted. That means it checks for the syntax, and then if it encounters any error, it will halt the translation. That means from the Python to the machine level language translation will be halted and it will show the error message for us. Syntax errors will be shown. If there are no errors, then what it do, the interpreter translates it into equivalent form of low level, that means bytecode translation will be done. So Python to the byte will be done, bytecode conversion will be done. After that, what the bytecode is sent to the Python virtual machine. Now it will be executed by the PVM if no errors. So this is like runtime. If no errors occur, then it will give the error, it will give the output. If any errors occur, it will give runtime errors, or it will show the exceptions for us, right? Thank you.